I'm trying to become the kind of person who's always ready to host, and this week I put that to the test, right in the middle of real life. This video is in collaboration with a new friend of mine. She is an incredible homemaker and encourager, and I cannot wait to tell you about her, so please stick around till the end of the video to hear more about her. And if you're here from her page, hi, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. In this stage of my life, something that I am very intentional about is trying to embrace my community. Right now, this often looks like inviting over friends to my house for play dates, whether big or small, and this week we went a little bit bigger. But before we get into that, I wanted to just explain how I fit this into our daily life. I, similar to anybody you watch on the internet, am showing mostly a highlight reel of my life. My days aren't always calm, my kids aren't always happy, and quite honestly, some days are harder than others. I've committed to not allowing that to be the reason that I don't host. There's always a reason not to have people over, but I can promise you that there always is a reason to have people over too. If you're searching for friends or feel like you don't have a community, perhaps the first step is figuring out where you can create that community instead of waiting for it to be created for you. Anyway, there's nothing like a little bit of spring weather to make you so ready to take on a few projects. In the midst of a small party prep, I was also working on some sewing and some different baking and making sure my family had food and spending some time with my daughter while my son napped. It's fun to watch her get to an age where she is really on the move and wanting to crawl on everything and climb everything, and her little outfit inspired me to work on my own matching top that I'd already cut but had never gotten around to finishing. I also had a little bit of work that I still needed to finish, so while she was playing, I got to work on getting an invitation ready for my friends to send for the upcoming event. Spring cleaning is in full effect over here. You can't convince me that anything is better than a clean closet. I've never really had an appropriate place to store all of my sewing stuff, so I was moving everything around trying to make a special spot to store all of that, and it really did clear up some space. I was able to move some stuff around and get everything in a place that made a lot more sense. I'm dying to know, is the spring weather making you want to complete 1,000 projects? I feel like the weather has really just made me renewed in energy. I want to get so much done. I'm thankful that my daughter is so content in her little backpack because she will let me get a lot done while she just hangs out back there. It does come with some hazards. Osha probably would not love this situation, and I probably should stop climbing my step stool with her on my back like this, but for now, all is well. After a little refresh, we were on to dinner, and like I said, I am in the midst of planning a party in a couple days, but realistically, my life can't change that much. I must continue the daily tasks that are a part of our routine so that my family can eat and be taken care of, and I can help in any way that is necessary. If you aren't making salmon bowls in your house, I would highly recommend. They're so easy to make. You just marinate the salmon throughout the day with some soy sauce, some honey or another kind of sweetener, some garlic, whatever else sounds good to you, and then you just let them sit before throwing them in the air fryer, doing a little bit of rice and mixing some mayonnaise and sriracha for the top. They're so tasty. Everyone in my house likes them. And sometimes we add a little bit of kimchi, but that's super optional. I don't think that that's like something everybody loves. After a small attempt to do a nighttime cleanup that was quickly thwarted by my son, who was insistent that he was still jumping on those, I was able to do a little reset of the kitchen and get some of my cookbook set out, which really just added something fun to my day. Do you cook from a cookbook or from an online recipe? Personally, I love the way a book feels open on your counter as you cook. It adds a little bit of an analog feel and keeps you off of your phone, which I am constantly trying to remain off of. We are finally back to party prep, and I am so excited to show you all about it. Something I've really come to realize recently is that I do not have to do it all. So I'm trying to really hone that in with only having a single snack and a single drink available for this little gathering. I sent the invite out quite late, so I wasn't exactly sure how many people to expect, but I knew I could never go wrong with a large batch of cinnamon rolls and a giant vat of lattes. Don't worry, I'll talk about that later. My YouTube friend also happened to make cinnamon rolls for her event, but she definitely wins the prize because hers were pink. I cannot wait for you to see them. They're so cute. I'm definitely in my cinnamon roll making era. This is the second time I've made them, probably this month. They really are so much easier than I thought, and I think that's what keeps me coming back, is that the overall time spend and energy output is really not that high, but they are always a crowd pleaser. There's nothing sweeter than cooking with a baby on your hip. I remember dreaming about these days, and it is so fun to finally be here. I didn't dream about overheating my mixer like once a month, but I am going to have to figure out a better way to bake. Maybe a heavy duty mixer is in my future. If you have any tips and tricks on how to not overheat your mixer without having to not double batch a recipe, then I would happily take them. But realistically, I think that I just have to make smaller batches.
Okay. Try and click again.
I'm not really sure why you're having a party.
I just like party.
Oh, the things I will do in the name of a party, because really, truly, I really do just like a party. I think the trick to any good party is to prep as much as you can in advance, and I think that even is more important in a morning party, because this started at 8:30 sharp. This party happened shortly following the time change, so everyone's children were off their normal schedule, so I figured it was the perfect time to have everyone over and to not have to worry quite as much about naps, but also to just have some lenience with naps. If they needed to have a place to lay down, we had plenty of those upstairs. We were going full steam ahead with the cinnamon roll prep, which was going really swimmingly until I remembered that special prep ahead rule that I really had just talked about didn't really apply to me in this moment. I should have absolutely laid out the baking soda and baking powder and salt that needed to be added before I rolled it out, and I didn't.
So frustrating.
So a second roll out later, after stirring this up in my overheated mixer once again, we were off to the races. Speaking of that time change, it gave me some extra time this morning before my kids woke up, which was a life changer when it came to getting this party prepped. For future parties, even if they're morning parties, I definitely will be starting a little bit later, and I think that's just something you learn as you host, what you're capable of doing, and I don't think that I am capable of really being quite as prepared as I would like by 8:30. The weather on this day turned out to be the absolute perfect weather to be outside, which was wonderful because that was the entire plan. The plan was to get outside, let the kids run around and play, and maybe get out some fun toys and just enjoy the nice spring weather, and it worked out wonderfully. This whole party idea was inspired by my friend at Mama's Fruitful Home. We were talking a few weeks back, and she mentioned how fun it would be to both host spring parties and share about them in the same week. Hers looked absolutely delightful, and I am so ecstatic for you to get to watch. When I say those pink cinnamon rolls are just following me in my dreams, I truly mean it. It was such a fun touch, and I can't wait to try it myself. With a big batch of iced lattes and cinnamon rolls ready, my friends all came over with their little kids, and we enjoyed some fun time in the sun. I think I even got a little bit sunburned, which felt really crazy for March. The cleanup from this party was frightfully easy. When everybody is outside, it seems much easier to keep everything in order. I did have a few little cars to pick up, but that is always a pleasure. It was so fun to have everyone over, but now that the party is over, I was back to spring cleaning and all of the fun projects. Everything in this fridge needed to come out and be reorganized. Things needed to be wiped down. It was just getting a little crazy in there. When I can open up the doors and let all the fresh air into our house, it just seems like it is the perfect time for a good old cleaning. While I'm working on this cleanup, I want to say a few more things about Mama's Fruitful Home. The lovely lady over at Mama's Fruitful Home and I became fast friends here on YouTube, and it has been so fun to get to watch her YouTube journey. She is such an encourager, so kind, and always pointing back to Jesus, which is just such a wonderful way to be. Like I mentioned, she too hosted a spring party, and she posted all about it on her page. Her page is linked in the description of this video, as well as being in collaboration. You should be able to find her right underneath this video. Please head over to her page and watch her latest video, and like her video and subscribe to her page, as well as leaving her a comment letting her know that you came from Simply Carrington. After hosting, you really do go back to the normal daily swing of life pretty soon after, and as I'm cleaning these pieces of my house that needed a little refresh after being used for parties, I am often thinking about my next event or how I'm going to use this to serve somebody else. I am just really loving this time of my life when I can pour into those around me. Like a clean fridge or a clean kitchen is really nice, but a clean fridge or kitchen is even nicer when you have a friend there to enjoy it. If you're hosting this month or in the next couple months, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Please tell me all of your plans. And if you have any ideas for future hosting events or parties for me to have, I would love to hear about them, because I'm always looking for fun ways to include people in the daily life. I'm thinking like a farmer's market party or a tea party or something simple and easy that everybody can kind of partake in, maybe fun dresses or bringing a home cooked item. It just seems so fun to include people and get to have those kind of memory creator moments. I think that that's really what makes a party extra special, is when you walk away having created a deeper bond because of shared memories. And as we're wrapping up, let me remind you that maybe you should clean under your sink more than once every 3 years. It's not imperative, but it is quite helpful. I was inspired to do this after I had a friend looking for dish soap underneath my sink and was just cringing at the thought of her looking in there and seeing all of the crumbs and just spider webs and everything that was underneath there. Ugh. I hope the beginning of your spring has been absolutely lovely, and I cannot wait to have another party and tell you all about it. While you're here, please like and subscribe. I post motherhood, homemaking, and hosting content weekly. Happy spring!